You're now listening to N21FM, a Pokemon podcast. I'm your host, Glenn. I'm joined as always by my wonderful co-host and friend, Johnny. Johnny, how you doing this week?
Doing good. I'm happy to be here. I had a great weekend. Did some pre-releases this weekend, so it's been a good one.
Very nice. What's the loot you got from that pre-release?
I got I'm apparently a Mega Mawile stand now. I got three
Holy
of them,
smokes.
two of the full arts. Pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Digging that.
Yeah.
A Spearow illustration, very fun one. I pulled the Mega Lucario, and this was pulled out of the packs in the kit that I got.
Ooh. So you got to play with it?
No, because I didn't get the Riolu.
No,
and it was in the Lunatone set too. It was so awful feeling because that set. I will say, if you pull a Mega Lucario and you pull a Riolu in the same set as the Lunatones, you basically are going to win.
Yes, sounds
except
like it.
maybe against like the Alakazam deck, because that deck is kind of busted. But that deck also is bad if you don't pull extra Alakazam. So, yeah, fun stuff. And then I got the full art items, the Buddy Buddy Poffin and the Rare Candy.
That's so awesome that you got both.
Yes,
that's really cool. And it looks like those are the same backgrounds as the regular cards. Is that right? They're like expanded.
That's correct. Yeah. So they pull up the same backgrounds. I don't have the other cards with me as reference. I probably should have done that, but
that's okay.
If you're watching this at home and you have these cards available, or if you're listening back later on and you want to check this out, go look at the cards. They do have the same background. It's just zoomed in, basically. It's really cool. It's not just zoomed in. It's changed a little bit, but it's really cool.
That's still really cool. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I love that we're getting new full art item cards. I think that's really, really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad you had a good weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had a pretty nice one as well. The last 2 weeks have been kind of heavy for me. Between, first of all, like the political atmosphere is in a rough spot right now, but then also definitely. Just personally, it's also just been a rough 2 weeks. So I had a good weekend where I was able to have my best friend, basically my brother, over. We played some couch co-op Black Ops 3 Zombies for the first time in my living room.
Yeah.
Finally got to break in the new TV I finally mounted. It was great. Ooh. So that helped get my mind off of things. Also, as we'll talk about later in our what we're playing section, Borderlands 4 came out, and I got to play some of that, and it's been very fun. So it's been nice to have this past weekend to get my mind off of things.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
So very fond of that. Another thing we did this weekend, actually, you and I recorded our very first Booze and Battle bonus episode, where, if you're unfamiliar, this is a series where Johnny and I have an alternate boozier set of rules for a Pokemon battle, we're working out the kinks of what the actual numbers look like, but we did a best of 4, was it? Or we ended up best of 5, 3 out of 5?
A best of 5, 3 out of 5 conquest style of Booze and Battle. Or gameplay, I guess, tournament match, however you want to call it,
We had 3. We chose to do bad decks and just to see how they did. My team was Scolipede Poison. I'm forgetting Tank Terapagos, and the third one was Wugtrio Mill.
Yeah.
Johnny, what were your decks?
So I went with a really bad version of Meowscarada EX that used a Zacian, a Hop Zacian EX to try to spread damage a little bit. I did a Caparaja EX deck that uses Monkey Dory to spread damage back to the opponent. Kind of similar to Blissey, but not as effective, unfortunately. And then I did a Greninja EX deck, and I did that also not paying attention to what the standings were at the Frankfurt Regional this weekend.
Yeah, a pretty clairvoyant choice.
Apparently,
you had no idea. You were a regular Nostradamus in our bonus content.
You know what? I'm gonna have to put that guy back into sleeves again. I took him out of sleeves for some testing recently, and now I got to put him back into a set of sleeves.
I think it'll be worth it. I think you totally should. That deck is a lot of fun.
Oh my god!
But we played that Conquest, and that is, if you're listening on free feed, that's live on the Patreon right now. So you can go over to patreon.com/terminalcreative, send us $1 or $5 or $15, and you can get access to that right now. Again, if you're unfamiliar with the tiers of our Patreon, $1 a month gets you early access to every episode, as well as our bonus show, N21 Plus. $5 a month is the audience participation tier, where you can get early access to the list of guests or interviews we have each month and get access to a Q&A feed where you can have your questions read on the show, either for us or for any guests we interview. And then the $15 a month tier is one we hope to populate very soon for producers. It is a producer tier where you know that you're supporting us in a more financial way that is impactful, and you get your name read at the end of the show. We're looking to add, obviously, more things. I think if we ever get merchandise, I think that it would be only appropriate to have a discount code exclusive for patrons of the producer tier. So that's stuff that's obviously all in the works, but we also have to get merch first. But in the meantime, those are all the tiers of our Patreon. We hope that you'll check that out. This show will never run ads. I know that it's like money left on the table because I know how to get ads for a show like this. I don't want to, because I want you guys to. I want, first of all, the freedom that comes with not being tied to ads. I also want you guys to not have to sit through ads, because I listen to a lot of podcasts, and a lot of those podcasts run ads, and it's the worst. It's terrible. I specifically want to call out the Chumba Casino ads. They are such a blight on humanity. I don't know if you've heard them or not.
Yeah, those are terrible.
They're the worst.
So
it makes
much.
me. I think I have beef with Ryan Seacrest now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's so fair. That's so
all that
valid.
to say, please be sure to check out our Patreon. I hope you'll enjoy the new bonus content we're putting out there. We're working on Pokemon Concierge Season 2 spoiler cast that we're going to record next weekend. I'm very excited about that. We started our journey through Pokemon Concierge last night, and it's so cute.
Oh my god. It's great. It's great.
It's so good. So please look forward to that. Please slide us a buck or two over there on patreon.com/terminalcreative. That link is also in the description if you don't want to have to type it out. But with that said, we've got quite a bit to get into today. We've got some news, some topics for discussion, some regional results, as well as what we're playing, and some new segments, including price spikes for Pokemon cards. And is this technically the debut of VGC content here on the show?
Kind of, sort of. I think we soft launched it a little last week with some discussion of it, but this might be the first discussion of like VGC results. Yeah.
So we'll definitely talk about that. We'll talk about the fact that we neglected an entire regional. So all of that and more coming up very soon. I think the first thing that we want to talk about, though, is, I guess, technically VGC news in some sense. In that we got new Mega Evolutions revealed. So since the last time we've spoken about Mega Evolutions, the last time we did that was we did a Mega Evolution tier list over on patreon.com/terminalcreative, and we ranked all of them up through, what was it? Victory Bell was the most recent reveal.
Yeah, Victory Bell was the last reveal at that point. So we had not even had a chance, I think, to discuss Mega Hawlucha yet at that point.
That's right. That's right. We had not. We mentioned him last episode, but we never got to discuss him. So there's been a lot of Mega Evolutions revealed since then. We've had our very best friend Malamar got his Mega Evolution revealed. We got all of the Kalos starters. Their Mega Evolutions got revealed. Mega Raichu X and Y got revealed. Like we said, Hawlucha, of course. And then the Mega Dimension DLC was announced for Legends ZA. Lots of very exciting things. Johnny, give me a couple minutes on the record of what you think of these new Mega Evolution Pokemon.
Oh man, I mean, it's always cool. First and foremost, it's cool to see some some introductions, some new ones coming into the fold. No matter what, it's always cool. I think starting with Malamar, Mega Malamar is such a sick design. I really liked that they made the hypnosis thing, the focal point with this like social media takeover with it, as like a way to advertise this Pokemon. Like, oh, it is brainwashing all these people to love it. It's such a fun take on it, and it's such a cool design. I love this thing. It's looking like, I mean, it's like Megamind, it's like mad scientist looking. the coloration, the whole cuttlefish, motif going with it with like the flashing
Yeah.
lights. Super, super fun.
Very, very interesting. I love the design of Mega Malamar. Unironically, I think it's really cool. It is peculiar, noting that also we neglected to cover these leaks, but I also don't really feel comfortable covering leaks necessarily because there's obviously always the grain of salt you have to take them with, that they're not fully reliable.
Yeah.
But this design was in the leaks that came out a while ago. So I'm curious to see how much more accurate that list will be.
I think
I don't want to discuss any other details for the sake of spoilers. I don't want to spoil that list for anybody, just in case. But what were you gonna say? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I was just gonna say, I think for those who know about the leaks and have spoiled stuff for themselves and have seen the list of leaks and what these designs are, if this is what we've got and what we've kind of seen from the leaks already matches up so far, they may just be pretty accurate, because I think like every single design that's been revealed at this point now, that was in the leaks, is nearly like is probably a good like 80 to 90%.
Yeah,
that's
it's eerily close. That's for sure.
So yeah, no, I really liked this design for Mega Malamar. As far as the other ones revealed, I think I think each of them is pretty interesting in its own right. You get Mega Chestnut, who I guess is like really leaning into like the gladiator motif and design, and it's kind of cool how gets like these kind of like, I don't know, halberd, spear, partisan sort of things that are its shields, but now like weapons that it can use at the same time. That's pretty cool. Delphox is straight up just
is so sick.
Just looks like a witch. It's super, super cool. It flies around now. The mini floating broomsticks are cool. And then I know everyone's pretty hype on the Mega Greninja. It's just hangs upside down. Like it's sick. Each one of them are pretty sick. I can't really complain.
I totally
about
agree.
The Kalos starters.
No, they're excellent.
Yeah. The only complaint that I have with any of the designs, and I don't know if it's maybe just me, I'm gonna be honest, man. The Mega Raichu X and Y feel a little awkward in design.
I think I see what you mean. I definitely see what you mean there. So what's interesting to note about Mega Evolution Pokemon is that there was a theory for a long time that a lot of people were skeptical of, that they all were designed to look like X's and Y's. And for a while I was like, no, that's surely not true. But looking at this, I'm like, okay, well, clearly. Like they're
very obviously.
Yeah, I don't hate these designs. I actually think they're pretty cool. They're really dynamic, and I think the renders that we get in the previews always look way worse than the final product that we get.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm for sure interested to see what these Raichus look like. I've also always believed that Raichu deserves a Mega Evolution. I think that's a really good Pokemon to have a Mega Evolution for. And conceptually, these are both really interesting to me. I find that I like the general design of Mega Raichu, if you will, a little better. But I don't like the Pikachu ears still on it. I think if you cut the Pikachu ears off of Mega Raichu, then it's near perfect, because like that's the only thing, is it kind of looks like it's a Pikachu cosplaying as a Raichu. But aside from that, I think it's a really excellent design. I can see why you'd think they're a little awkward, though. I think the coloration on Mega Raichu X is a little odd.
I'm actually going to share this. I forgot we can screen share.
Yeah, go for it. Go ahead and pull those up for me.
Viewers, yeah, absolutely. So we got Mega Raichu X, Mega Raichu Y.
Gorgeous. I think they're sick. This reminds me of Alolan Raichu, which is one of my favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, this design is definitely better. It's still very distinct, and it still very much is like Raichu. This still is like, oh, that's a Raichu. It's a Raichu with some Pikachu's inspired motifs on it, but it's still very much a Raichu. It still has the longer tail. It still has the kind of ear design going for it, even if it's got like the Pikachu ear design to go with, I guess, like a second set of ears or something like that.
Yeah, it's got 4 ears. This thing can hear really well.
Yeah, apparently.
This guy is not getting soundproof as an ability.
No, definitely not. I think you're right though. Yeah, when we get to like the coloration on Mega Raichu X, I don't know. I just something about it is too jarring for me. It does not scream, "Oh, this is Raichu's Mega Evolution." It's like, "Oh, we made a Mega Evolution for a Pikachu."
This almost looks like a pal from Pal World.
Yeah, I
this looks legally distinct from Pokemon. Also, if you zoom in on its face, they made him evil. They made him a meanie. They got that little evil tooth. I don't know. I'm gonna reserve judgment ultimately until I see it in game. But of the two, I certainly prefer Pokemon Raichu or Mega Raichu.
I definitely agree. It's very fake mon looking in that sense. So unfortunate. The reveal trailer gave us some nice little like, bits to go with it. These I will say, like, I mean, they went in on the trailer. Obviously, the rendering on the lighting and effects on it is so cool looking.
Is that 5-band who does those?
These I don't know actually. Should probably look into that.
We should.
Yeah, for
sure. By the way, these articles come to us from PokeBeach, by the way. We're trying to be better about citing our sources for documents when we get them. But this information does come from PokeBeach, as does the information about Mega Malamar. That's also on the Pokemon website. I also want to talk briefly about the Kalos starters, if I may.
Yeah, absolutely. I glossed over those a little quickly. So go ahead.
Something noteworthy about these starters is they're clearly based off of the archetypes of characters found in like tabletop RPGs and just general RPGs. You've got your tank, you've got your mage, and you've got your like rogue. I think these are all really cool renditions. This is a hot take. I think the weakest design is Greninja.
Okay. That's fair. I think that's
this is not like a fully formed, like, I'm not ready to defend this in front of Congress, right? But I think I think it's still awesome. Don't get me wrong. It's super sick. I love the black and the light blue. Black and that shade of light blue actually is one of my favorite color palettes of all time. Yeah, I just dig it a lot.
Super good combo right there.
I just think that thematically, Delphox might be the best one.
Absolutely.
But also there's the glow up you get for Chestnut, and just the way Chestnut looks, like you think I see this and I'm immediately reminded of like, oh, the middle stage evolution is Quilladin. That's like a paladin. Yeah. And then you see this and you're like, oh yeah, that's him. So I'm definitely really fond of this Chestnut, this Mega Chestnut, and this Mega Delphox. They're all excellent. Like, don't get me wrong. This is like, they went 3 for 3 on these, but I think the weakest has to be Greninja. Just by virtue of the fact that like they flipped him upside down. Which is cool. But I don't know. I'm still like, it's hard to be like one of these is weakest when they're all so sick. But I think people should maybe stand down and lay off about glazing Greninja. I think that's a little excessive when these other two are just as awesome.
No, that's super fair. I was gonna say, I don't. This will get me some hate from someone, I'm sure. But whoever you are who likes Chestnut, I'm a big Chestnut hater. I do not like Chestnut's design. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't like Chestnut's design. I don't like Quilladin's design really.
Quilladin is one of the ugliest Pokemon.
I think they are two of the goofiest looking Pokemon that have ever been designed.
Quilladin is just green Pignite.
Yes, it really is.
And I'll stand by that.
No, and it looks so lazy in design. So to see like Mega Chestnut come out and it looks this cool, like for me to go, oh, I like this design enough that like I would, if I was going to play through these games, I would pick them, just so I could see this, design, right?
Yeah, that's a good design.
That's how much I like this. So that's some good praise, I think.
Certainly.
Yeah, fantastic one. Yeah, and then Delphox, like you said, absolutely the best one.
Yeah,
10 out of 10.
Now,
it's right.
These reveals did not go without some controversy because it's also worth noting we mentioned a Mega Dimension DLC announced for Legends ZA. Now, there's been no release date for this, but they've already announced an expansion pack for Legends ZA called Mega Dimension, and it will. I think it seems that the storyline revolves around Hoopa, who holds the key to the Mega Dimension story, and you can warp around with space rings, and just travel around. I think Raichu X and Mega Raichu Y are specific to Mega Dimensions. You're not going to be able to unlock them in base game. I also believe... No, it looks like the Kalos starters are not exclusive to the DLC. But there's been a lot of controversy around releasing, or announcing rather, a DLC when the game is not even out. What do you think about this?
I'm not a fan. I'll vehemently say it. I don't like the idea of like announcing a DLC when the game is not out. I've never been a fan of like, oh, we're going to have more content and you're going to pay for it. And we're not going to include it in the base game, especially when it's like, just put it in the base game. Make it take longer for the base game to come out, or make that DLC free. If it's just if it's a take of like, oh, we haven't had the chance to implement this in the game yet, but we will, and there will be a free DLC update. If you want to charge more for the base game a little bit to offset that, that's fine too. I'm just not a fan of DLC being confirmed and charging for it in that sense, I guess.
Interesting.
And I maybe that's maybe that's differs from other people's opinions, but I think that it's I think that generally is taxing. I actually went looking for something, and this comes from a tweet that was shared in our local Discord. But according to the price points for this stuff, it's looking like I'm gonna share the screen actually.
Yeah, go for it, please.
Share this tab. Boom, easy. According to this leak, ZA's base game is going to be $60. If you buy the Switch 2 version, it'll be $70. Actually, lied, sorry. It's a $10 upgrade for the Switch 2 version because you can buy the base game and then later buy the upgrade to the Switch 2. Then the DLC is going to be a total of $30. So if you want this full game on the Switch 2, you're paying $100 now, basically, to get the full game and the DLC that will be available pretty much at launch, as far as I'm aware.
Now, is it confirmed at launch, or is that speculation?
That might be speculation that it will be available at launch. If it's not available at launch and it's just going to be after, maybe. But even then, I don't know. It still is just a little bit grating for me.
Yeah, I can see that. I think you definitely hold the popular opinion in regards to DLC in that way. I actually find myself on the opposite end of the spectrum.
Okay.
So I wanna point out that it's not new to announce DLC really early into the life cycle of a game. So, for instance, I'll use a DLC model that I'm a really big fan of, that I like, and that I think we should go back to. And I'm pulling up some resources right now, which is why I am stalling a little bit. But this is something that's noteworthy, that is important to talk about. One of my favorite DLC models was that of the map pack or the bonus campaign.
Okay.
So I'm looking here at Borderlands 2, one of my top 5 favorite games of all time, maybe top 3. It's definitely my top 5 most played games of all time. I have collective months of gameplay piled into this game. It was released on September 18th, 2012.
Right.
Now, it is also worth noting that the season, and it retailed for, I think, $60. The season pass, which included all DLC campaign expansions, granted, these were much shorter. These were released on the season pass was also released on September 18th, 2012.
Yeah.
This gave you 4 campaigns, which would eventually come out, and 11 more levels. I think this also might have included extra vault hunters, extra characters to play as.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think I might be mistaken. I'm not sure. I'm looking right now. I'm trying to find all the information. This is very much improv.
No.
So,
you're good.
So forgive me, but by bundling all of this stuff together, you could get a lot more. You could get a lot of bang for your buck.
Right.
But it isn't all that to say. It is nothing new to have DLC announced at the same time as release, right?
For sure.
And what my argument is that this, first of all, appears to be a very different campaign. This is not. This is obviously not the same storyline that you're going to follow through Legends ZA.
Yeah.
It seems very much like this is a not jump the shark necessarily, but like this is like the Delta episode in Oros, but to the nth degree, right? Because in Oros, the Delta episode still tied into the story. You still had Rayquaza that you wanted to go fight Deoxys. Spoilers for Oros, I guess. And Rayquaza was still part of the original trilogy.
Spoilers for a 10-year-old game.
Yeah, for that game though. Rayquaza tied into that game, but excuse me, I'm burping. This looks like it follows an entirely different story, and it's not like we're not getting content. It's one thing to have. I stand firmly in the position that DLC being announced at the same time as base game is only bad if it's cut content. If it's content that was originally slated to be part of the game. Because, let's be frank here, we're not owed Mega Raichu X and Y.
No, that's true.
We're not owed that by entering into the purchase agreement for Legends ZA, right?
Yeah.
They give us a list of features. We understand that that's what we're paying for. If we want more features, we have to pay more. That's just, and like that's very weirdly capitalist for like coming from me, but I am in the firm belief that game developers, artists need to be paid for their work.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the gaming industry, especially right now, is in a really bad spot for that. I think that these are necessary, right? There's not only tariffs wreaking havoc on the game space, but also there's all kind of business models that right now are actively harming the space of buying games outright. And just there's so many like DLC models that are just strange. I don't know. I don't have the eloquence of language to exactly describe what I'm trying to express.
No, that's
but the game space is certainly in a position where having like a DLC that is an additional campaign with additional characters, there's no reason that you shouldn't pay $30 for that.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's fair. I have that opinion of like like I said, I also had that opinion of this game, but I can also understand that within and it's, I guess it's also making me reevaluate what I would be okay with too. Just because like I'm a huge From Software nerd. Absolutely huge. I've played Demon Souls all the way up through Elden Ring. I've slogged through all of the Elden Ring, or all of the From Software Souls and whatnot games. Tons of playthroughs on Bloodborne, that kind of stuff. I bought Elden Ring knowing that like, okay, there's going to be a DLC at some point. I didn't know it would take them 2 years to come out with the full thing, but and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm happy paying $40 for this. I mean, this is like, this is the pinnacle of what they've been working on. And Elden Ring's DLC, like Shadow of the Erdtree, was without a doubt the best DLC they've ever made to date. And they've made some actually, no, it's not. That's a lie. But it's very good. I think it was
in controversy because it was nominated for Game of the Year.
Right, as a DLC, which people were complaining about.
I was one of them.
I can understand the complaint. I absolutely can understand the complaint because you can't play it without playing the base game. But anyway,
right, you were saying
it's just I think that that game that was absolutely worth paying the $40 for. You got a campaign that was I think the average playtime for most people through Shadow of the Erdtree, if you were like really trying to do every single bit of it, your average playtime is probably going to be another 50 hours, right? Which most people are already putting in 70 to 100 in the base game. So having a DLC tack on pretty much half of a large game's worth of extra content, or a standard game's worth of extra content at sometimes, is, I think that's huge, Yeah. Especially when you have like other games that come out that feel like DLCs. I think in like juxtaposition, right? You have like Far Cry, like New Dawn, an interesting premise, and to Ubisoft's credit, I hate saying that, but to Ubisoft's credit, they did at least say, okay, we're not going to charge an arm and a leg for this, and they charged, I think, like $15 or $20 for that game as a standalone game. You don't have to own Far Cry 5 to play New Dawn, but New Dawn's game is very much based on Far Cry 5.
Sure.
And for only $15 to $20, you get a mediocre 20-hour campaign that doesn't do a lot and doesn't really tell an amazing story. But if you liked Far Cry 5, you would get that. So I can understand the angle of like making DLC, making a separate game as DLC, all of that kind of stuff. I will say for the time being, I'd like to see maybe some more info come out about this, honestly.
Yes, I was just about to say that I think what stands to be seen is the runtime of this DLC.
Yes.
Because that will be a big impact on what people value, right? For this DLC, I think the best thing that you can do, actually, and I've long held this belief, is that you shouldn't pre-order this. Instead, you should wait for the reviews to come out, find out how long the runtime is, if it's worth your time, and then, like I've said multiple times in the gaming episode that I did with Brian from our local community, who is a game dev, you should vote with your wallet. If you don't think this is worth your money, don't buy it. I know that's very hard to do, but ultimately that's the only thing that matters. That's the only vote that matters, is the one that you do with your money. So by all means, if you don't want to pay $30, if you don't want to pay $100 for this game, which you're not, you're paying $70 for the game, which is a reasonable price adjusted for inflation, and $30 for the DLC, then don't pay that much. Pay $60 for the base game on Switch 1, don't upgrade it, and don't get the DLC.
Yeah,
I think that is an important lesson that gamers need to learn, where I think right now the impact of buying a game and buying a DLC has been maybe worsened in some ways. I've been kind of alerted to this fact that a lot of gamers in the space are not accustomed to buying their games. So like myself, for instance, and I don't want to get too far in the weeds on this, but like Xbox Game Pass has made it very easy for people to not buy their games but get them as a service. PlayStation Plus Premium and PlayStation Plus, I forget what their extra tiers are, include games in the membership that you get them each month that you don't have to pay for. They're like retro games or just some not as modern titles. But you get them included with your service. And then like the Nintendo Switch Online stuff, you get a lot of games included with your service. So gamers right now are not accustomed to buying their games at full price. And it's caused them to really rethink these prices. But I think these prices are a lot more reasonable than we're giving them credit for
sure.
By virtue of the fact that we're just not accustomed to spending this much money on games. Gaming is a luxury hobby. I think it's important that we remember that, and that if we don't like it, we vote that way with our money. Sorry, that's a soapbox, but I think it needs to be said.
No, absolutely. I think that's a good take. More so these days than just about any time in the past. Gaming has become a luxury hobby, and it's maybe a little unfortunate in that regard, where it used to be you could buy something that would be relatively inexpensive and you could put tons of hours into. But I also think that, that we're in a different time period. Things have different costs and amount of time to put into working on it. So the amount of time, the amount of money, to get out of it, I think should be, equivalent, and some of these studios definitely are still probably undercharging compared to just how overworked, some of the employees are when it comes down to things like crunch and stuff like that. So,
or even, sorry if I may, and this will be like one of the last things I say on it before we move on. Even if you look at, there are games you can play for really cheap. One of the most critically acclaimed games right now in the modern sphere is Hollow Knight Silksong. That game is $20. And people are like, it's my game of the year. I can't weigh in on that because I haven't finished the original Hollow Knight, so I haven't played Silksong yet. But people are claiming it's their game of the year. It's a $20 game, and Team Cherry left money on the table. They could have easily charged $30 for that game, and nobody would have looked at them funny.
$20 for a quality, high caliber Metroidvania like that is absolutely worth it. I mean, I again, also big fan of Metroidvania, so like I would put like almost any amount of money into buying that kind of game in general. But yeah, that is to say, overall, I think we definitely need maybe some more information about Legends EA and the DLC that's to come with it,
Certainly,
or adjacent with it, I should say, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, I think that's the best way, is to just keep our eyes out, and we'll have to see how things unfold. Anything else on this before we move on?
No, nothing else. With that, I was going to actually transition us, though, to speaking of new games.
Oh, yes, I'm so excited about this.
This is something that I think both of us are pretty excited about. This is coming from another PokeBeach article.
But this was released in the State of Play from Nintendo, or the whatever, not State of Play. They're called
they're
Nintendo Direct.
Nintendo Direct, yes. Yeah, that was it. So they announced Pokemon Pokopia, life simulation game revealed for the Nintendo Switch 2.
This looks so cool.
It's more or less your typical slow life sort of game. Think Animal Crossing, think kind of Sims, but not really Sims-like. You're not, the giant in the sky. You are the person who lives there, so maybe closer to like Stardew Valley in that aspect, I suppose. But generally, this is your pretty standard slow life style game. So the gameplay that was announced, you play as a Ditto who transforms into a human,
which is so cool. You're going to be able to customize your character, by the way. That was confirmed.
Mm-hmm. And you live in this world with all the other Pokemon, and you get to befriend them, and you learn moves from them in order to build a community.
Yeah. That's such a cool premise, by the way, to like learn the moves from your Pokemon residents in order to be able to further develop your island or your community. Yeah. So cool. This is something I think my wife might like, actually.
Oh yeah, this would definitely be something that I could get Cassie into as well. I know that she would absolutely love this. You get materials, you build stuff. It says players can collect materials, build furniture, grow vegetables, create homes for Pokemon, allowing them to experience a cozy, slow life with Pokemon, one that they built themselves from the ground up. Over time, players can develop a town of their own and invite other players or Pokemon to visit. So it's definitely going to have like an online aspect in that regard to kind of show off your community to friends, and probably, I'm assuming, like have trading stuff or get the materials or get cool things from sharing with the other people. There's also going to be a day and night life, or a day and night day and night cycle. Yes.
Yeah.
Linked to real world time, changing weather, and some special in-game locations with unique characteristics. So I'm going to go on some of these screens. But what are your thoughts?
I'm really excited about this. I probably won't get it day one just because money is tight, but this is a really cool looking game. I've never played Animal Crossing personally. I've never even played Stardew Valley. I'm kind of a fake gamer, if you'll take note. But this looks really interesting. I'm not a big cozy game guy.
Yeah.
But this looks very interesting. I'll probably play it just because there's Pokemon in there and it looks cool and it looks cute. I think I'll try to get Nicole hooked on it for a little bit, and then she'll do what she did with Animal Crossing New Horizons and play it for 3 months and then never touch it again. So that'll be really interesting. I really am curious to see how far they go with it, because like at the end of the day, you can only get so many Pokemon in there that you can learn moves from. I'm interested to see what they do with legendaries. Like I can already envision like a really cool Darkrai event probably, or like where he's like there for like a dreams thing. Of course, they did that in Pokemon Sleep, I guess. But lots of interesting stuff. I'm interested to see how like the islands look as well. Are they procedurally generated for each player? Do you get like everybody gets the same canvas? I'm interested to see how the social networking of it will go. I don't know. This looks like a lot of fun to me. At least something to like log in a couple of hours a week and just be like, okay, I've tended to my babies. We're having a good time. I'm going to go do something else right now. But this looks good. I'll probably buy it eventually. Probably not till after I get my Switch 2. Actually, certainly not until after I get my Switch 2, which will be a little bit. But, I mean, this game comes out in 2026, so by then,
I love that.
Maybe... Oh, this is Koei Tecmo.
Yeah.
I have a lot of faith in Koei Tecmo, so I'm interested to see this.
Sorry, I was looking at this. I really love this cast form, kind of hanging on the wall, just because it's very much supposed to be cast form. Like the rain cast form already is kind of stylized to look like a Japanese rain.
I think that is a rain doll.
Yeah. It might even actually just be that. It's like a way.
No, I think it is. There's a little hook at the top if you zoom in.
So it's kind of, this is kind of fun to make like cast form, be this.
Yeah, because it's raining also in this screenshot.
Yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah, super cool. And then sorry, you'd also mentioned like only so many moves being able to be learned, so only so many Pokemon. My brain, for whatever reason, just immediately went to yes, we'll bring in Ultra Necrozma and learn light that burns the sky.
True. Yeah,
that's how awesome. That's how you reset your game.
That's New Game Plus. Is you either get light that burns the sky or you get Hyperspace Hole from Hoopa.
Hyperspace Hole just takes you to a new community. Light that burns the sky blots out the one you've created entirely.
It's a little grim.
Yeah.
I see it
also, though. Yeah, no, it just looks cool though. We've got little like the mushrooms looking like Paris mushrooms, Parasect mushrooms. Just all of this design in general looks fun. The
design
Pokemon
language here is very cool.
A beach is fun. We love beaches.
True.
So
you're a big beach guy.
Yeah, super Sweet. Interested in seeing this. But yeah.
I'm right there with you. Anything else on this before we kind of move on? This looks really great. I'm excited to play it. I'm excited to see reviews of it.
Nothing else.
That's all I got to say about it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And with that, we're going to move away from the VGC stuff. I want to talk about some of the cards that are happening right now. We had a lot go on, kind of this. Well, a lot of nothing. It's that meme where it's like, yeah, I want a pizza with no pepperoni and no cheese and no sauce. And he's like, give me a cheese with nothing. And that's very much the cards that we got this week. We received, let's see, we got a Darmanitan from Inferno X.
Yeah.
We got a Mega Heracross and a Miss Magius and a Ludicolo. These are all from Pokebeach articles, by the way.
Yes.
And we got like a Flygon from Inferno X. None of these cards you don't even have to pull them up on the screen, honestly. You can just bring it back to us. These cards, you guys can check them out on your own volition. They are all on Pokebeach.com. You can check those out. They're not even really worth the airtime talking about them. Unless you have anything specifically you want to say about them, we can just kind of move on to the other thing I wanted to talk about.
I was going to say low-key, honestly, the best card that was revealed out of all of these ones that were revealed within the last week is probably this Darmanitan.
Yeah, I'd say so.
The Darmanitan, for the fans that I will share this one just because I will bring it up as a point. This Darmanitan has the attack Blazing Ball, 4 colorless, does 40 plus damage, 40 more damage for each fire energy attached to this Pokemon. This will not really see standard play. I'm sure people will probably be able to find me. I believe I commented on this page saying, "Oh yeah, the Darmanitan's cool, but it's not going to see standard play."
You're right here.
Someone
you're literally the third comment.
There you go. Someone literally was trying to call me out. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do I mean? No, it's bad, dude. Don't call this card good. It's not good. It's bad. In standard capacity, this card will not even be a blip on the radar. This is an LDF special in standard, and that's about it.
Yeah, exactly.
In GLC though, this card will probably be an absolute banger in some fire decks. Just because Burn Brightly Charizard exists. Burn Brightly Charizard lets you put 2 fire energy on this guy, and
Embor also exists.
Embor
Inferno
also exists.
Fandango.
So you can do Burn Brightly, or you can do Inferno Fandango. You can use both. I'm pretty sure there's lists that use both.
Yeah.
Which is greedy and cool at the same time. So
Yeah.
you can definitely just make this guy punch for huge numbers. It's really cool to see Fire get that in GLC, because right now, really the only like potent sort of like Rain Dancer type cards that are in GLC are just Wailord, obviously, and a bunch of other Hydro Pump cards in the water type decks. And then I think there's like I think there's a few of them that aren't nearly as good for grass types, unfortunately.
Sure.
And there's like a Darkrai that's exists in the dark typing. If you build around, there's a Hydreigon that has like
a Rain Dance type ability.
A Rain Dance ability, yeah, for dark moves or for dark energy. So if you do the Hydreigon with the Darkrai, you have another combo there. So it's cool to see Fire kind of get that combo as well, especially since it's only other real dude I think that does anything close to like something like this is the Entei from, what is it, Obsidian Flames or something like that?
I think so. The pressure one?
Yeah, Pressure Entei. It's the Scarlet Violet era one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the closest guy I think at this point, really. So cool card, cool for GLC. Nothing else.
And if it doesn't get any play, then we're wrong, and that's fine. This happens. Okay.
Moving right along from those, though.
We got some other really interesting cards that aren't revealed for the game, but you may want to take a look at. This. I found this article. This is the TCG Player Biggest Price Spikes in Pokemon This Week by Corbin Hoster. I really appreciate the content that they put out every week. By the time you see this episode, this will be a week old. But these tend to stay pretty accurate for a while.
Yeah.
So
after these prices spike, you'll see them still maybe go up a little bit, or at least stay on level for the next week or two.
Certainly. So in order, we've got the following price spikes. They are the Tyranitar V Trainer. Is this a Trainer Gallery or a Secret Illustration Rare? I couldn't tell you.
I believe this is Illustration Rare. I don't believe this is Trainer Gallery.
It's the sleepy one.
Yes.
From Battle Styles, where he's under a tree with a bunch of other cuties. This jumped up to 281.20, up from about 199. The Team Magma's Groudon EX jumped up to 383 from Double Crisis, the ultra rare. Jumped up to 383, up from around 352. It's not as huge a spike, but it is a big number. It is a number where like it looks like less of a spike because the number is already so big.
Yeah, and this one's still kind of on that upward ramp. If you look at that graph too, like it's still
trending upwards for sure.
So it's
and along with it. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so it's gonna continue to trend upward probably for a little bit.
Yeah, well, and you're looking at the same thing with Team Aqua's Kyogre EX from Double Crisis as well. These are the ones where it's got the whole squad on the card.
Yeah.
First of all, these arts are awesome, but the fact that they're both featured here is probably indicative of a big, just a continued boost to like those cards of popularity. I mean, collectors are going to want more of these, especially if they're going to want it both, and that's why you also see at the same time like the same trends with these cards. And Team Aqua's Kyogre EX went up to about 410 from like 390, which is less of a jump, but still noteworthy. And then this next one is actually really shocking. I'm curious to see, actually. I'm going to look up on Reddit, unfortunately. But I think this has something to do with r/Pokevestors, which, by the way, this is my not annual, but frequent, what is the word? Disclaimer. If you're like a pump and up investor type, get away from my podcast. I want you out of my game. I don't want you here. I don't want your support.
No,
I want you to leave.
we don't appreciate those kinds of investors. If you are simply investing in the cards because you like the cards the way they look and you want to hold on to them for a while and you're looking to maybe sell in the very very long term, sure, I guess.
Yeah, that's one
We
thing. Like
we're
I see
we're
a
here
post
for
on,
the collector realm and the playable realm really more than anything
yeah.
else.
I look at this person on Poke Investing who made a post saying that has the Akira Igawa creation quartet in a
Mm-hmm.
custom frame and background from 9 days ago, and that's
Yeah.
gorgeous and it's excellent. But then I see also people who just have piles of product.
Mm-hmm.
And oh wow, actually one of these investors just picked up one of those Kyogres for $96. So they can
That's
that's pretty impressive. Good for them.
crazy.
But also get out of my game. So I don't see anything about them pumping up the price of this card, but the card that I wanted to talk about, and it's why I went to this particular subreddit, is because they have a history of pumping up random cards for no reason. The card that's being pumped up
Yes.
right now is the Scarlet Violet promo Team Rocket's Wobbuffet. If I'm not mistaken, this is the ETB promo for Destined
Mm-hmm.
Rivals.
Yes.
And it went up to, well, the price is now sitting at about 861, but it peaked at about 1068, up from 477.
Yeah.
Which is peculiar to me because it's not like a particularly interesting card. It's not seeing a lot of play right now. What do you make of this?
I mean, it does seem like it is probably just a pump, and that's about it. And it's a cool card. Don't get me wrong. I love the art on this card. But yeah, it doesn't seem like it's anything more than people trying to take advantage of whatever cards they can to maybe try to inflate the price on as much as possible. And I think it's probably really like noteworthy to say or to mention that it is the ETB promo, right? So it's a
Yes.
guaranteed card in every single ETB purchase, which are only going to become more and more readily available for this set while it's being printed as time moves on.
Yeah.
We will still see the Destined Rival set be printed for another 2 years now,
I think so.
something like that. It's going to be printed for 2 years, and if it's printed for 2 years, ETBs will be printed for 2 years. And if ETBs are printed for 2 years, this card is going to be in ETBs for 2 years. So
Yes.
its value is only going to decline in the future. So it's kind of strange. It's probably just related to people trying to jack the price up now while they can, in an effort to
Sure.
make it worthwhile now, and not later.
It is noteworthy that the Pokemon Center printing of the card went from 76 to 95.
Mm-hmm.
And that one I don't think is getting the reprints. So
No, that's true.
if you do have a Pokemon Center exclusive Team Rocket's Wobbuffet, hold on to that guy. Maybe get it graded. I don't know. Like again, well, not again. I've never clarified this. We are not giving you financial advice. You should not listen to me for financial advice.
No.
But it's fun to speculate and see what's going on in the market and know what we know about card printing and production and what the Pokemon Company is doing. And it's fun to speculate. And it's also fun to be like, oh, I didn't realize that card was so expensive. Maybe I'll go make a couple quick bucks.
Yeah.
And then we've got a couple more cards here, two of which really broke my heart. But we'll get to those in a second. The first one is Zapdos EX from 151, the special illustration rare. This art goes crazy, by the way.
Oh,
but
yeah,
it
this
jumped.
Rocks.
It's sitting at about 95.26, and that's where it's been peaking, up from about 58.79. This is a really cool art. It's not a very playable card, so it's cool to have that going on.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really like all I have to say. It's from the 151 set, right?
It's a 151 card, so it's immediately also just going to have that harder price tag on it. It going up isn't surprising. 151 will be leaving printing within another year.
Yes.
Right? Like
I think so.
Year,
I think that's right.
The rest of this year, and then we have, I believe, all of next year still. So maybe it. I don't know.
Honestly,
I don't know exactly.
I'm surprised that this card is not more expensive, being from 151.
Well, I tend to agree with that. I think maybe it just amounts to, if anything, the notoriety of this card being
certainly
just not as popular of a card in general. So, but I think that people will start taking notice now. Probably they're going to see this price spike. It's clearly leveling out up here in the
Yeah.
90s. It's almost assuredly going to stay somewhere up there.
Yes. Yeah, no, definitely. So moving on from there, we've got Celebi V illustration rare from Fusion Strike. This card kind of surprises me to find it here because, well, so it's a nice card, and Fusion Strike has been harder to come by lately. But I don't see any reason. It's not exactly noteworthy, in my opinion, in either art or playability. Like, it was never a playable card.
Definitely not.
And maybe that's just the gamer in me that's like, this card sucks. Why would you ever buy it? But I also don't know if the art is exactly noteworthy, or even that it's like a particularly noteworthy Pokemon for people to care about. Maybe it was really hard to come by, but it is sitting at 77.15, up from 47.03. So you've gotten up quite a bit of value out of that. If you've got one of these, maybe it's time to sell it. Maybe you hold on, but it is starting to trend downwards a little bit, or at least plateau.
Yeah, I think with this one, it's even if it's not like a super notable, it's maybe more just amounts to the general appreciation for some of the art cards, and then also the fact that like Fusion Strike is, I believe, left printing cycles already for a little bit. So
yes,
now these cards are only going to be harder to come by. So people are naturally going to want to try to pump them a little bit if they can, or at the very least, they will just stay up there at a higher value because of that.
Yes, certainly so. Now, these next two make my heart very, very sad. It is Mew V. The ultra rare from Fusion Strike is now sitting at 149.54, peaked at 151, but is trending a little bit downwards, or at least plateauing. It is up from 57.29.
Yep.
Tripled in price.
Pretty much.
Holy smokes. It is absolutely crazy. So if you don't know this about me, I'm a big Mew VMAX stan. I played that deck to death when it was legal. I loved that deck. I think it was awesome. It was fun to play. It was fun to watch. It was fun to engage with as a deck. It had a legendary run of 2 world championship decks. I love this deck. It's so cool. So cool. And a long-term goal is to eventually bling it out. I have 2 of the Genesect V alt arts that I wanted to put in there, or that I already have put in there. I need 2 more. I need to get, obviously, these Mew Vs and the Mew VMAXs, which we'll talk about in a moment. But things are getting even harder. I also eventually need to get the Chinese Gold Battle VIP passes. So if you know a hookup, let me know. Leave me a comment down below. Or
these things are 500 a piece or something like that.
They're coming down a little bit, but they're definitely expensive currently. So it's more of a pipe dream than anything else. But especially now they're looking at Mew Vs being $150. And moving on to the next one, Mew VMAX is also sitting around 150. Market price actually for this is saying 216. So it looks like maybe it's even spiked up again since this article was put out. I'm going to look at that actually right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's about.
But Mew VMAX, this is an Akira card, I think, as well. Let's see. This is, make sure I'm looking at the English printing. Yes, so this is another Akira Agawa. This is a result. Yeah, a moderately played copy of this card is going for $293.
Yeah, so the what I'm seeing for the market price is what they listed as market price was probably not market price. It was probably one of the more recent sales prices. Unfortunately,
yeah, that's what it looks like.
TCG Player has a tendency to sometimes track the sale price due to their webpage coding and everything. I have tried to actually figure out how to get market price on their website listed on spreadsheets, so you can have an accurate spreadsheet track.
Yeah. Oh wait, this is actually breaking right now. I'm looking at it because I made a mistake, and maybe we should go back and look at these other cards as well. For posterity's sake. The market price on this Mew VMAX is actually, according to TCG Player, is $92.27.
Okay, so it's dropped since this.
It's their most
article.
recent sale that's $292, and if you look at the market price history over 6 months, it's never been even over $100.
Gotcha. So yeah, this price has
So,
dropped since this in the last 5 days already.
well, I think that the problem is we're getting inaccurate information as well.
Mm-hmm.
That is so, because now when I look at the market price on this Mew V, it's, yeah, even looking at the market price proper, it's still high, but it got up to 66.90, and that's where the market price is sitting. Meanwhile, it's the highest sale was around 150. I want to keep an eye out. I want to look at actually all these other cards. I mean, I guess these articles are no longer going to be reliable. But
man, unfortunate.
We'll have to just do a little bit more research
Mm-hmm.
into what we're actually doing here. I apologize. We're kind of live revising at the time of recording. I just want to make sure that I'm giving you guys accurate information so you don't go try to sell this for something ridiculous. Yeah, it appears that the most recent sale price is the one being used in these articles. The market price for that Kyogre is still high, but it's around 181. And I want to go back and get the Team Magma's Groudon for you. So sorry, by the way, that this is inelegant, but
some of them are still pretty accurate. So I think like a good example, right? The Wobbuffet. I'm looking at that one right now.
Is that around
market
9?
price is still about 850.
Okay, that's accurate.
It's still accurate.
Some of these are highly inflated.
The Zapdos is 95 right now. So, which is...
What does that Groudon say again?
Pretty much on point.
Can you look at that Celebi for me while I'm looking at this Groudon? The Groudon says, according to the article says 383. Actual market price looks around 260. 265. And then you're looking up the Celebi, right?
The Celebi market price is 37. Okay,
I'll look up the Tyranitar V.
Instead of the listed 77. Tyranitar 281 compared to
sitting approximately, oh wow, down to 163. It actually dropped quite a bit. So interesting.
So I think it is maybe necessary to evaluate that the recent sales aren't a good indicator of the price spike, like a overall price spike. It's just a single product price spike.
Certainly. And maybe that means that we'll have to so in the future, we'll definitely vet these articles a little better. I apologize. We kind of threw this episode together a little hastily, but in the future, we will be certain to vet these prices and find out what the actual movement is so that you guys aren't. And maybe we'll even see about getting our own information instead of using these articles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Clearly, these are not 100% accurate.
Yeah. I think the articles, they're following like big price spikes in terms of like one sale, like skyrockets the card in the TCG player database, and so now this card sold for this much, so but that's not really a good accurate look.
It's not necessarily indicative of market movement. Oh man. All right, well, I apologize again for the inaccurate information. We will do our best to vet that better in the future and see if we can get a better resource for this segment of the show. But in the meantime, we are going to just make sure we're diligent about vetting the prices and just seeing what the actual cost of those cards are. Maybe we'll use the same list and just give you the real prices week over week.
Yeah.
But, and like I said, this is not financial advice, so...
And we catch out TCG player.
Yeah. Truly. We got one more thing and then we'll move into what we're playing. I wanted to add this actually to our regular rotation of topics that we discuss, and that is actually the financials and work situations for the Pokemon Company International. This comes from LinkedIn this week. I just got curious looking about it, and the Pokemon Company International has posted 2 job postings in the last 5 days. Some of these are there's some week-old jobs that are actually really, really important that you could speculate a lot about some cool stuff. For instance, like some stuff from a week ago, they've got like a senior systems engineer which might mean that they're working on something for live. They're working on a senior program manager in business process transformation. They're working on an international accounts manager, a cost analysis manager. Let's see some other ones. There was one that was really important: a manager for software development. That's really noteworthy. A client engineer, which means that we could get something really good for live or for champions.
Yeah.
Lots of really important things, but the two jobs that they have posted this week via LinkedIn are a project manager. I think the location for it is Bellevue, Washington. It's a hybrid job for $105,000 a year, with some benefits. This seems that I wonder if they have any details on it right now. You'll focus on managing the development and localization of TCG projects from conception to production. You'll act as a central point of contact across the functional team to provide streamlined communication and optimize schedules with a focus on continuous process improvement. You'll create schedules, streamline processes, maintain schedules, basically making sure that the TCG development is taken care of. It's a project management position in the TCG. Which is noteworthy. It means there's going to be some cool stuff to coming down the pipe. Hopefully, we'll get some more information. They're clearly like ramping up what they're going to put into the TCG because that is like that's what they're doing. They're requiring a bachelor's degree or equivalent working experience. Their like experience in trading card games is preferred. I'm trying to see if there's anything in here that is indicative of what's going on for the position that might clue us into anything else. Doesn't look like it, but that's the project manager position. And then they also have a regional director for Latin America position that just became available. This is in Mexico City metropolitan area. This is a hybrid full-time job. This is a subsidiary of the Pokemon Company in Japan, where you will own and drive the sales function across Latin America. You'll kind of scale operations and optimize performance in the regional sales office in Mexico City. It's a very big executive position in Latin America, which is really cool because we've been getting a lot of Latin American growth lately in our community and just across the brand of Pokemon altogether.
Yeah, well, and that fits too. They had that big announcement with TPCI.
That's
LATAM, with the Pokemon Day announcements earlier this year, I believe.
Yeah,
was it Pokemon Day? I believe it was.
It was Pokemon Day.
Okay,
and that's noteworthy. I'm interested to see what we'll get from any of this. Maybe this is something that is a seed being sown for to be cultivated around the 30th anniversary. That's something that we could probably expect to see. But I've detailed kind of what the jobs are and what they are described as. Do you have anything to say on these?
Nothing particular. Just it's always good to see some more growth and more positions opening up. So
yeah,
always happy to see that.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of my first time like delving into this and seeing what it means for the Pokemon Company as like a game developer. But I'm interested to see if anything else comes up like next week. Maybe if I want to delve into some other ones that they've put out. But it's cool that we're seeing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if we don't have anything else to say about those job listings, we can get on into what we're playing this week, Johnny.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess I'll just I'll jump right in on it then.
Go for it.
I don't have too much. I went and did pre-releases. I like I said, got the really cool pools. Got some fun games in. The pre-releases, the change up in the style this year, for the listeners who don't know at home, they changed up the way that the decks are being done for pre-releases now. It used to be that you would get 2 out of 4 possible archetypes built into a single 40 card deck in your kit. Now it looks like they're just doing 1 single archetype per 40 card kit. And so instead, your archetype is going to be, you're getting more to focus on that, rather than, doing like a small line of something and something else. You're doing one like thicker kind of setup for it. So as an example, one of my kits I opened up was the Lunatone promo, and so it comes with 2 Lunatone, the promo and a standard, I believe, and then 2 Soul Rock as well to go with it. And then on top of that, you get, I think they gave me like a 3-2-3 line of the new Garganacl, which has a ability that gives all of your fighting Pokemon plus 30 on attack. So that's really cool to like, try to build that up and help, your Soul Rock swing for, 100, 130, 160 if you can get all 3 out into play, which is cool.
Sure.
Fun ideas. Outside of that, though, it really wasn't like that kit. To me, that kit felt like it might be really strong, and it ended up not being super strong. And I think that's more because of what you run into, unfortunately, because your alternate options are a Meganium kit, which all of the cards in that kit are weak to grass, except for a Hariyama. That you get in there as like a boss's orders option with the new Hariyama. So feels bad if you play into the Meganium, feels bad if you play into the Alakazam kit. The Inteleon kit to me didn't seem real, unfortunately, but that kit was like whatever. And then the Meganium kit is very good. It just uses Meganium and a new Executor with kind of the same attack that the Sword and Shield era Zarude has, where it's 60 plus another 30 for every grass attached to it or something like that.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then last but not least is the Alakazam kit, which is probably the strongest one, but they only put 1 Alakazam in that kit, and it's the Pro you get. But it is bonkers how good that kit is, because you play down your Kadabras and your Alakazams if you can get more off the packs to keep drawing cards and get a huge card count in hand, and then Alakazam gets to put 2 damage counters onto the active Pokemon for every card in your hand. So
that's pretty good. I can see that being really good.
Yeah, I played into a kid who had like a Mega that he put up, and I just dropped it with a bunch of cards in hand and got 3 prizes in a turn, and the kid's like, I don't think I can do anything, and I'm like, no, you can't, bud. You just gave up 3 prizes. I'm so sorry.
In pre-release where you have 4 prize cards total, that's astounding.
Yeah, but like,
interesting.
It's just, it is what it is. I will say the highlight of the kits to me as a competitive player, each kit gives you 2 lilies, for sure, and that feels very good, getting 2 lilies out of each kit. And I pulled another one off of packs from one of the kits, and I think one off of reward packs as well. So I think I have like a total of 6 right now already, which is really
pretty good. Yeah.
So yeah, get out to your pre-releases if you haven't yet, if you still have some coming up and you're able to, and pull lilies for sure. I think that's like the highlight card.
Yes. Pull them for sure. That's going to be a great card, especially if we see a universe where research rotates. Right. That's cool, though. I'm glad to hear you had fun at pre-releases. Had some fun games, got some good pulls. For me, it's been a very light week for Pokemon for me. I've been testing out the aggro Zoroark build. That deck sucks, by the way. Don't play it. If you're going to play Zoroark Control. It's just better. It's way better, and it's not even close, actually. But because what's been going on, as I mentioned in our preamble to the show, Borderlands 4 came out. Yes. And oh, baby, it's so good. It is a phenomenal game. It is, I have gripes with it.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's been hyped up for so long that, of course, I had some unreasonable expectations. There are some things, though, that are just bad about this game. So... And I'm going to probably do a video about it. I'm working on making a video about it proper. There's one thing in here that infuriates me. So Borderlands is a first-person shooter game. There is, when you're adjusting your sensitivity on controller, for clarity, I'm on Xbox Series X. And when you're adjusting your look sensitivity, it gives you, the range on the slider is like 0.00 all the way up to like 5.00, and every individual decimal point is a sensitivity option. So you're looking at like 500 variables in your sensitivity.
Okay. Yeah, that's a bit much.
And it moves so slow. And like in the UI in this game, you also have to you can either navigate by like the D-pad or like your sticks, or you can control a cursor. The cursor has to go. It's terrible for standard like UI navigation and menu navigation. And like when just adjusting the sensitivity is so slow and there's too many settings, literally give us like 20. I'm good.
Yeah.
20 settings is fine.
Yeah.
50 is overkill. 500, brother?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I remember back to like Call of Duty, like Modern Warfare 2 days, where it was like 10. Yeah,
it was 10. And I'm all for like more options, but I was on like a 4.00, and I was zooming around, looking around. It was terrible. So I just can't conceptualize a universe where I need 500. I also especially can't conceptualize a universe where I need exactly 436.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is silly. It's
so
I work in a field that operates off of like tenths and hundredths. And even then we have like acceptable tolerances for error essentially. Where if something's like a couple tenths off, it's fine. So it's like one of those things where it's like, you don't need to go down to the nitty-gritty hundredths all the time. It truly doesn't matter. And even some of the most like high demand, like important jobs, so it's not going to matter in this first person shooter,
right? Especially in like the look sensitivity of it. I don't know, but the game is a lot of fun. I've been playing on Amon, maybe is how his name is pronounced. He is super sick to play as. He's a big tanky guy with like 2 like axes that you can, or like fire and ice,
cool.
And you throw them around and do more damage like to people who are debuffed by him. It's really fun to play through. It's super tough. It's kicking my butt. But I'm having a lot of fun with it and getting used to the new systems, the new mobility systems. But that's kind of been where I've been at. It's going to be how I am for a while now, because that game, it's got my heart, man. Borderlands is such an incredible franchise. It's been really important for me as a person.
Yeah.
So I'm going to continue being a fan of the 4th game. Actually, I had if I can quickly divulge into this, I had a really annoying pre-order experience. So I like to buy games that I enjoy, physical copies. I like to buy physical copies of games. I pre-ordered this from GameStop because there was a promise of a GameStop exclusive Ripper mask. Ripper is like the faction of bandits that are in this game, and they have their own mask. You can actually probably pull it up. It's going to be like a GameStop Ripper mask exclusive for Borderlands 4. But that was promised to be a pre-order bonus for everybody. And so I went in to pre-order the Super Deluxe edition of Borderlands 4 and at GameStop. Granted, it was maybe a little late in the game, but they were like, yeah, you can't pre-order that version anymore because it's like 5 days out. And I was like, well, why not? Yeah, that's about the one.
Okay, yeah.
I think, that's pretty much, I think that's it. But so they were like, yeah, you can't order that version. You'll just have to like see if we have any spares whenever it comes out, even though there's no difference practically in the versions of the game except for like the case. But I do care about the case.
That's silly.
Like it's just like that you get the DLC codes and save a little bit of money by buying all the DLC at the time of purchase.
Yeah.
So now like my thought was I was going to have to purchase the physical copy of the game to have the game, and then purchase either all the DLC separately or go in and buy the Super Deluxe edition digitally. But so what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to see if I can get the digital deluxe edition physically, because the case does look really nice.
Yeah.
But I bring up this mask because it's supposed to be the pre-order bonus. It's why I pre-ordered from GameStop and not like I didn't just go get a copy on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I get there and they're like, yeah, we never got those in the shipment. If we get any though, we can call you and see if we can get you one. It's like bold of you to take my money and not have the product that I was promised.
I mean, at that point, I'd be like getting in touch with corporate, man. stopped being a GameStop patron a long time ago for stuff like that.
I certainly get it. This was my first experience back at GameStop actually in years.
Yeah, that's so fair.
And my only reason was because I wanted a physical copy of the game, and I am in favor of supporting brick and mortar stores, even if it is a corporation.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of like local video game stores, especially ones that were doing pre-orders. And I wanted that mask. That mask looks sick. I want to put it like probably on my wall over here.
Yeah.
But it was a very disappointing experience overall. And I'm going to be contacting probably someone in corporate at GameStop about that situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it just makes no sense. Like I wasn't able to pre-order the version of the game I wanted. And then when I asked if they would be getting more stock of the Super Deluxe Edition, they were like, we don't know. It's like, okay,
Terrible.
well, you're just wasting my time then. Yeah. So that was that experience for Borderlands 4. I've had some growing pains with Borderlands 4, but I do love the game very much.
Yeah.
More on the Pokemon side of things, though. Not playing it, but I have, like I said earlier, started watching Pokemon Concierge with my lovely wife Nicole. She's very into, at least like seems to be kind of into the show, because it's cute. It's very fun to watch, and I've been excited to watch it and get caught up so that we can do our spoiler cast next week.
Yeah. It's super wholesome. I'm glad you get the chance to start checking it out.
Yeah, same. All right, anything else on what we're playing before we move on to some regional recap?
No, I don't think so. I'm interested to get into this part, though.
Yeah, me too. It looks like we're going to run a little bit long, so I apologize. But just given where we're at and how much time we have, how much left we have to go through. We should start with, let's see. Let's start with just real quick. Let's go over, first of all, our predictions from last week. So, do we remember what those were? I don't have them written down anywhere.
I've got them on the previous page. I'm going to quickly share this this screen for the viewers.
That's from labs.limitless TCG. Is that right?
Yes. So the first predictions that we had was one, the winning deck. You had Golden Go and I had Pult Noir, and it looks like neither of us were correct on that.
Yeah, seems like it.
It's the winner of
you
this
got close,
one
though.
was I did. I got a second place Pult Noir to kind of boost me up on that. But I mean, there was one Golden Go in Top Cut, so
yeah.
It
could have happened.
Still is up there. It still is up there.
There was also, though, a Dragapult Blaziken in Top Cut. So
there was some interesting stuff in this Top Cut, clearly on the screen. But the winning list was once again Gardevoir, with
who could have guessed
Dragapult coming in second place, once again continuing the trend of Dragapult being the best deck to get a second place finish with. At a tournament, without a doubt. Yeah, it seems like the new time rules did not hurt Guardy players completely. I'll look at this actually because I'm interested. Guardy was still very much there and present as the fourth most popular deck overall.
Sure.
Has a solid conversion, and then on top of that, winning out not quite as often. I guess like with the ties and everything, like the win rate gets a little bit deflated, but overall, Gardevoir seemed to handle it pretty well. I think that's really important to look at. We had new time rules, and we still see plenty of Guardies existing. Not quite as many when we get into the top 32. But after that, looks like the top 64, they really start popping up heavily. So I think that was, kind of noteworthy, right? Like time rules did not seem to impact it quite as badly, I think, as I thought, or maybe as you thought. I don't know, but certainly as I thought.
Certainly not as much as I thought. That's for sure. I thought that was going to cripple Gardevoir. Yeah,
absolutely. Our second prediction was the number of Monkey Dories. You had 6 and I had 8. And let me go give a quick count on here because it's looking like I'm doing
We've
this
got 3
right now on the fly.
In the Gardevoir. We've got probably at least 1 in some of the Pult. Pults. I see no monkeys in this Pult. I see 2, so we're at 5 right now.
Well, based on the number in Top Cut, the count I'm getting is 9.
Wow.
The count I'm getting is 9 in Top Cut. 3 in Rune's deck. Another 2 in Kato Arai's deck. Let's see, another 2 in Fabian Pujols' deck.
Yeah.
Another.
Oh wow, Dominic Fike is in this game.
Another 2 in
Just kidding.
Constant Kalama's deck. And I think that's it. Yeah. So a total of 2 in 3 of the decks, and then 1 deck with 3s for 9 Monkey Dory. So it looks like I ended up busting, unfortunately, on that one. I was so close.
Me too, buddy. It's okay.
Oh, man.
An unfortunate
not
bust for
there.
both of us.
Yeah, not quite there. 8 and 6 were still good guesses, though. Your 6, my 8. That was still fun, you know?
You were certainly closer. So
yeah.
That's fine by me. Something noteworthy here is Tord Reklev finally came out of the madhouse. He finally played a deck that wasn't absolutely ridiculous. He just played a pretty straight Dragapult Dusknoir list with nothing absurd in it, as far as I can tell. That's not true. There's 4 rare candy in this list.
Most absurd thing.
If that's the most crazy thing in a Tord Reklev deck, it's a good day.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I'm surprised he wasn't on the Dragapult Blaziken, which we don't have to talk about at length right now, but just know that there was a Dragapult Blaziken, and it's crazy.
And then
something noteworthy is there was a lot of Terrabox showing up in this tournament. And one thing I want to ask, actually, I don't know if you might know this information. Where is everyone? First of all, whoa, check this out. Somebody's running the Pidgeot line like you've suggested with EVBox.
Yes.
But I also want to know where everyone is getting this idea to run Iron Leaves EX. Because I'm seeing a lot of that in Terrabox. It's good. I just had never thought of it.
It's a good idea. I've seen it recently. Real quick before I comment on that, I also was going to do our last quick prediction.
Oh yes, please.
We did the highest placing Golden Go Joltik deck.
Yes, I said day 1 and I was wrong.
Day 1. I said top 64, and both of us were wrong on that because the highest placing one was a top 128 at 75th.
Yeah.
So, like we were saying, this deck is not real. This deck isn't.
That is
real.
a fraudulent deck. It is not real.
I think that people who are saying the deck is real are lying to you, and they are trying to influence the meta. Yep, they are trying to meta manip. Absolutely. Do not fall for it. It's not a real deck. It's not good. Don't play it. Yeah.
Joltik Dango isn't real. It can't hurt you.
But yeah, moving along. No, I think the as far as what this new Iron Leaves inclusion, I think it's a really, really smart way for Terrabox to kind of play to help handle some of the issues it sometimes has with movement, right? One of the big issues that it can face is the Noctowl Gust, right? People love to gust a Noctowl because they're like, oh, okay, I'll just put this up there. They're not going to be able to retreat, or they're going to have the energy attached to retreat, or they're going to have to find something to retreat. Noctowl doesn't get out of the active easily. Iron Leaves gives you a chance to maybe come in with an attacker. Potentially, it gives you a chance to simply just put something down to give you that access to go in and retreat. And it doesn't require a search in the same way. Necessarily.
Interesting. I'm also noticing a lot of Briar. Almost every deck plays one Briar, and I know that's something that we haven't played yet.
I don't think Terrabox is as good with Briar. I'm going to be so honest. I understand the inclusion here, but I think overall Terrabox has a better time going 2-2-2 than it does 1-2-3 in most cases.
Yeah. Well, I can see this as an argument for going 2-2-2 more frequently.
Yes.
Where you can, if you're behind on prizes at the end of the game, you can gust up a guy and Briar, knock it out. And like you're a weakness box. You can also frequently, you can probably gust up high impact I don't know. I think Briar's a fine inclusion. I've wanted to fit one into our list for a long time.
Yeah, that's
And
so fair.
clearly it gets results. So
You mentioned there was a Flareon deck that was it this one here, the 54th place one? That
I'm
used the
not sure
Pidgeot?
exactly where it was.
Yes, this is it. I'm gonna see now. So they're just not running the Flare or the Sylveon, which is, that's a choice. I disagree with it personally,
Oh,
but
no, I'm sorry. I meant a Terrabox proper deck.
oh, a Terrabox deck with the Pidgeot.
Yes.
Interesting,
I am
interesting.
looking at the 7th place Frankfurt deck.
Alrighty, let's go. That was yeah, Mee's deck. Also, shout out to Mees, by the way. Dude, all of a sudden just needed to get the laptop back. I'm sorry. Bad joke. But dude
What?
comes out nothing.
Sorry, that's lost on me. Is that a Hunter Biden joke in 2025?
No.
Oh, okay, thank God.
It's a different, it's an entirely no. It's an entirely different one.
Okay, that's fine
no.
too.
It was yeah. But the Pidgeot in this list I think is really cool. I think it's really, I don't know if it's greedy to go one Pidgey and one Pidgeot and no Pidgeotto and just rely on Candy, but I think it's cool. I think it's cool regardless. I still maintain that like Pidgeot is your alternate option to like a Mew personally. I think if you have Pidgeot, you don't necessarily need Mew if you're going to be establishing Pidgeot in most games.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's still, personal choice in the deck building. And Terra decks are usually very tight on deck space because they're running or they're running 8 support guys to search for items and another 2 just to like get those support guys out, and now you also have to build like attackers and other support guys in there, so it's always a really tight deck no matter what. But I think this list is cool. I do, like I said, I like the Pidgeot. I think Pidgeot solves regardless one of a Terra deck's biggest weaknesses, which is they're all very susceptible to a late game Iono. They all have a hard time recovering from that. I do think a late game Iono with both Pidgeot and Mew and like a Fez on board is like one of the coolest like ultimate comebacks you can have, where someone like puts you down to 1 card in hand and you're like, okay, well I just need a little bit more to win. Restart for 2, Fez for 3, Pidgeot search for the last little piece that I need, like cool stuff. I think the bigger, more interesting ones though to kind of bring up into this weekend, aside from the fact that like 3 Terrabox popped up in Top Cut, which is wild. We
love
saw
that, by the way.
Very cool. Happy to see that deck doing really well all of a sudden. I think it's at the time that it needs right now. It is Terrabox's time to shine. I think that it's a fantastic deck right now. I think it's able to counter big things in the meta, so it's really cool. But the two of the coolest ones here, I think. We have the Blaziken Dragapult deck, which this deck had been getting noticed on online recently, where it uses the Blaziken as kind of a backup attacker and a way to kind of cycle energy from your hand into your discard, and then get it powered up onto a Dragapult later. So it solves the issue of, wanting some sort of energy acceleration onto Dragapult in some way. So this one is cool. It's using obviously like the Badoo. But I think the cool inclusions are stuff like the LGM. LGM is super
very
sick
good
to just be able to mess with your opponent's ability to attack during their turns, potentially offset their attacking potential. You have the one of Petra in here to lock something into the active and keep it there, while also putting some damage into play on it. If they can get it out, or if you can like gust around it later and pull something else up, you get to start throwing more damage onto stuff. So it's a good way to get like bigger targets. This is like a fantastic way to do something like this and block a like a Squawkabilly, or
Ooh,
a Mew or a Pidgeot or a Pheasantipity. You know,
some
you grab those like big like support EXs that your opponent is not wanting to get hurt, and you start like putting some damage into play on them, and then you can come in later with Dragapult for easier KOs on them.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Is this fixes a lot of math because that big poison damage
Yeah.
sets up good numbers for a lot of your other like support Pokemon to really come in with those high impact knockouts late game. It's almost like they take this Blaziken EX inclusion and make it so that you can have a bunch of single prize attackers, things like the Chi-Yu, things like the Elgium, things like Pecharunt here. And it's interesting to have single prize attackers in a Dragapult deck. That just is very interesting to me. So
Yeah.
Cool premise. I think I want to see how it runs, but very interesting nonetheless. There's a lot of really cool decks in day 2 of Frankfurt Regionals. I'm seeing one N Zoroark. I'm seeing an Okidogi. I'm seeing a Roaring Moon. Greninja EX obviously making a high prolific show. 2 Terapagos decks, 2 Slowking decks, some Milotic, some Ogre Pawn Box, 4 Conkeldurs in day 2.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest ones we saw that was cool. 4 Conkeldurs.
And then 6 Ho-Oh Armaroos.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a really interesting breakdown of decks that are not exactly popular, but clearly potent.
Yes. Wanted to point out, it looks like all the Conkeldurr builds also were very much gunning for this Dunsparce draw engine, which is a terrible draw engine, but when you do combo it with something like the Enriching Energy A-spec for the deck, you can make an insane amount of card draw in a turn, because you're going and attaching this card, going draw 4 once you attach, and then shuffling it back into the deck with the Dunsparce and drawing 3 more cards. So it's, I mean, if you're doing this, you're drawing 7 cards a turn. Dunsparce has I think, an issue still as a draw supporter. It's not good for every deck, but it does work for a deck like this where you can just amass a gigantic hand and you run a bunch of consistency tools. We see in this list here, it's literally just 4 Hilda to try and find the Jet Energies and the Enriching Energies and Conkeldurrs. It's 4 Colress to get out a Stadium and an Energy so that you can make sure you're getting these draws. It's 4 Ultra Balls, it's 4 Candies, it's 4 Poffin. You know, you just have all these big 4-ofs, and then the only other things that are like 1 and 2-ofs are more niche cards. Loss, which you don't need to gust around things too much because you're punching for 250 to 290, depending on if you have the Mochi attached. You've got the Town Store to help you get the Mochi if you haven't drawn into it, which you don't need. That's the other cool thing, honestly. You don't need the Arvid to find these item cards. You're relying so much on card draw that you're just like, I'm just going to find a card.
Yeah.
So I think that's super sick.
Yeah, Conkeldurr is a really cool deck. It's cool to see it kind of get its flowers in this tournament. Maybe it needs more recognition, but time will have to stand to see. I think I want to move on from Frankfurt, though, and
I was gonna say real quick.
Oh yeah, if you have anything else on Frankfurt,
because I was playing it this weekend in our Booza battle.
Yes,
the Greninja EX suddenly showing up out of nowhere. No one expected this card. Let me double check that metagame real quick. This
it's
thing,
1 deck in day 2.
It is. Here we go. Yeah, four in total in the entire event. And a single one makes it to day 2.
Yeah.
Right? Or am I blind? Am I not seeing it?
I'm not sure. But still a very impressive feat.
Yeah, regardless. Oh, yeah, there we go. 1. And a single 1 in day 2. And this deck comes out of nowhere and just gets top cut at the first regional of the year. That's a very cool thing to see happen. And
yeah, that's not nothing.
I am a big fan of this deck. This build is not exactly the same way I built mine. They're running the Grand Tree engine, the one that I play. I believe, what was I running? Unfair Stamp, which is also still a very good option. I think if you run this, you either run it with Grand Tree or you run it with Unfair Stamp. I prefer Stamp because I don't really want to give my opponent the advantage, and I think Stamp helps it a little bit better with the searchable stuff that you can do with the deck with the Pidgeot and with the Greninja. But it's just such a cool deck, and it works out really well. I think one of the biggest like misses on the inclusions, and I mean they did really well despite it, is no Briar. I think this is like one of those decks that like secretly can like be super sneaky with Briar. I've had some live wins before where you can just like you go a little bit behind, you let your opponent take some prizes, and you can just like set stuff up. You let them take a prize or two, you pop a Dust Noir, you let them take another prize or something like that, and they're suddenly at 2 left, and you still have like 5 to take. And you're like, oh, let me drop my Briar, pop another Dusknoir, set up some final damage, and then, oh, I'm taking like a bunch on you all at once, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's super, super sick. Like, you can just take 3 off an active and 2 off of like a benched EX, you know, if you do it that way. Like, crazy combos.
It's very Rapid Strike box build, and I love that about it. It's super cool.
Big fan.
Yeah, kudos to you for making that pick for the Boozin' Battle. I wish it had actually, no, I'll let the folks at home find out how it performed by subscribing to our Patreon. Yeah, that's super exciting. I am interested to see if the deck performs even more. But in the meantime, we neglected last week an entire regional tournament when we made our predictions. And I don't think that they would have very different turnout if we had made those predictions for this tournament. But we forgot to mention Monterrey. Now, Monterrey took place over the same weekend. It is one of the Latin American regionals that does not get a lot of coverage. So we missed out really big time on that. I want to apologize, especially to any Latin American fans of the franchise or this show. We'll do better to be more diligent about that in the future. But this was a pretty interesting tournament. A lot more Gardevoir here. Way less Dragapult represented in the top decks. Lots more Terrabox as well. Pretty cool tournament. I think the only thing that I really want to spend any time on in this tournament, though, other than just like the stuff that gets pointed out, is, other than the just natural stuff in the article on Limitless TCG, is this random Quad Thorns deck at 15th place. Which is so peculiar to me because we have not seen Quad Thorns in a while. I know you and I talked about it briefly, but it's very strange. Also, what is this energy count? What's going on here?
That's
How could this be?
Good question. I don't know if those. I'm
this
trying
is
to
Crispin
wrap my head
targets,
around.
I'm certain.
Yeah, so I don't really know why these energies specifically.
This guy just hates water energy, I guess.
Maybe it's just a dislike of water energy in the mix. Maybe it's the sleeves didn't work with blue. I don't know.
Actually, I bet that's exactly what it is. The sleeve. This was a sleeve pick.
Yeah, almost assuredly, this comes down to the sleeves because I don't think there's really anything in play that impacts.
It's an important thing to do. You know, the sleeves. Getting the right sleeves is an important meta call.
Yeah,
and that's why we're sponsored by. We're not.
We're definitely not like, you know, Golden Go Levincia pilled on this. You know, it doesn't have to be. It's already running the lightning energy anyway, so it needs to. So yeah, I'm not sure. As far as this be doing as well as it did, let me check the matches because I'm interested to see. They put in three Rockets Watchtower, and they only hit one deck really that's making use of those like colorless cards. I guess 2 if you like include like the Pidgeot here in this one.
Sure.
Right? But yeah, really only one deck, one win right here that's like pivotal with that Rockets Watchtower where you shut out the entire game plan against like owls with a Watchtower. So cool stuff for sure. Interesting to see. We'll have to see if Quad Thorns makes the comeback.
It's gonna make a comeback
into the
for
meta
sure.
If people start, I'm assuming that people are already going to start net decking this on live once they see the.
Be
results.
prepared to see this on live. I think that's really all I had to say about Monterey, though.
Yeah.
Other than the next segment that I wanted to talk about, and this will be kind of how we close out the show. We're going to try something a little new, unless you had something else to add.
No, this is pretty much it. Just
Sweet.
it was cool. I like seeing all the tear box there. That's the biggest thing.
Oh,
Makes
me
me
too.
so happy.
It is neuron activation for me, baby. The last thing here that I wanted to talk about is courtesy of Victory Road. We're going to start doing some, as we kind of started to mention, some VGC content here. Did I put the link in the Google Doc? If I didn't, I'm sorry. But
It's in here.
We've got, I think it's just the teams that are listed for the champions of these regionals. We're looking at Emmanuel Briganti's Frankfurt team, which is just a very mid-range, like, consistency. Oh, excuse me, my cat is attacking my desk. Just a very like simple, straightforward team sheet, utilizing these really low to the ground, high potency attackers. I mean, like, apparently Terra Ghost Incineroar is a staple in a lot of cores right now. Life Orb Golden Go is not surprising. Sneasler is also like really strong, and Assault Fest Rillaboom has been strong for a while. Like, these are all just very much like, this is very much just like, this is a team sheet in Pokemon VGC, from what I understand.
I didn't even realize the Sneasler has Unburden. That's actually really sick as like the Rillaboom combo, like Grassy Surge into Grassy Seed, Unburden, and immediately this guy's like double speed with like high defense. Holy! And then
that's been kind of the biggest thing to happen with Hisui and Sneasler lately, from what I've been talking to VGC players about, is that this thing's kind of been a menace in this regulation. So not at all surprised to see this at the top of a regional. This just looks like this is what people expected. I am not familiar enough with the metagame to kind of understand exactly if any of this is surprising, but I'm interested. Anybody who's a VGC player, I know, especially anybody from the Calyrex Game Corners who might be watching this, let me know if any of this is surprising. At first glance, before I was familiar with the regulation, back when we were looking at what was that tournament last week? It was I'm trying to pull up the name right now from last week's Google Doc. It was the Grand Challenge we noted that Alola Ninetales was present at the winner of that tournament as well. And I thought that was strange. But I'm seeing it here again, and I was like, oh, this is actually just a good Pokemon. So maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. But with that said, let me know what you think of this team sheet. If you think there was anything that maybe could have been better, any Pokemon you were rooting for. Is there anything weird or really noteworthy about this team? I'm not sure. And we're doing our best to start incorporating VGC in a way that we're educated about it. But it's a process.
Yeah.
In the meantime, though, or do you have anything on this team before we go to the other one? Because the other one is actually something I'm easily able to tell is noteworthy.
Nothing too much. I haven't been involved in VGC for a long time, but I can at least like recognize like some of these just being like insanely cool options. Also noteworthy, and I guess like it's probably been part of it for a while, is like nearly everything's got Protect on it. I'm assuming for that like chance to boost. The only things that don't have Protect notably have Fake Out instead. And that's a way to, I'm assuming, like, you snipe a specific target to essentially protect the teammate instead, so that you can fake out, get the snipe, get the boost that you want, like Swords Dance, or whatever like proactive or reactive thing you're trying to do, and then keep going from there. I think that's so cool. Well,
Incin Terra Ghost Fake Out Parting Shot, from what I understand, has been like a staple in a lot of teams' cores.
Yeah.
So that's not surprising even a little bit. And that's actually why you run Terra Ghost, is so that you can dodge opposing Incineroar fake outs.
Oh, that's nasty, dude. That's crazy cool.
So it's something to think about. I'm interested to see what more we can learn about VGC, but in the meantime, I think this is a cool list. I'm always happy to see a little the Ninetales doing stuff. So good on. Congratulations to Emmanuel Briganti for winning the Frankfurt Regionals for VGC. I want to move on now to a much more interesting list, which was played by Stefan Mott, who won the Monterey Regional Championships. Worked really hard using a core that they worked out with one of their friends. They kind of conceptualized it together. I'm not exactly sure how this runs, but something that is definitely noteworthy here is Scyther. Technician Eviolite Scyther with, I imagine U-turn is really good here. I imagine these are all really good attacking moves. But like stab U-turn with Eviolite seems really, really strong.
And then dual wing beat getting the technician plus stab boost right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy good, especially into fighting types, which right now are really strong, and grass types too. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, like Rillaboom is one of the better Pokemon in the format or in the regulation. So, being able to be strong against grass types is important.
Technician Eviolite boosted dual wing beats with stab, like that's a crazy strong move, I'm sure.
Yeah. And we see Alolan Ninetales showing up again, which is interesting for me. Another Snow Warning build of it. I'm not quite sure how all this works, but it's very interesting to see these. Again, like you see here, this instant isn't Terra Ghost, but again, you see Fake Out U-turn, and it's just like, well, yes, of course. So very cool to see something win with a Scyther. I think that's really cool. It reminds me of when Archaludon was first revealed. I heard rumblings in VGC that Duraludon with Eviolite was going to be a menace. It turns out that was never the case. But I think this will probably get people thinking about other Pokemon to utilize Eviolite with. And other cores that can probably be worked around with this threat in the format.
I was gonna say the Terra picks on this are interesting too. A poison Terra pick for Sylveon and a flying Terra pick for Garganacl. I guess to dodge like an earthquake is probably one of the coolest things that can really provide for it. I think I'm assuming that's what that's for. Is like you terrastalize dodge earthquake with that, and then like
because Garganacl is really tanky, so you want to have that. You want to make sure that you're able to survive a hit, and the only way to do that is to completely be immune to Earthquake, because AoE moves are really potent right now, from what I understand.
And then the Incineroar being Terra Fire instead of Ghost is
it makes it seem like you're attacking a lot more with Flare Blitz.
It's going all in on the Flare Blitz instead, using that as the just key attacker right there. So it's just punch really hard with Flare Blitz, get the bonus from the terrestrialization. And
another interesting. Sorry, I'm just noticing this, but Choice Scarf Trick Goldengo is really noteworthy. I'm curious as to how that fits into this core, but
remind me what Trick does again.
Trick gives your opponent the item that you're holding.
Interesting.
So you're you lock your opponent into whatever move they're doing.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that's exactly what it is. Is like you wait for you predict a like a protect or something like that, and then trick protect or a trick maybe like a stat boosting move that just isn't going to matter because they're never going to get to use the stat afterwards. You know,
right?
Cool. You can use Swords Dance and max your power up, but you can't do anything else now. So
certainly, yeah. I'm surprised by this team. I think it's really interesting. I think Pixelate Throat Spray Sylveon is also really cool. This whole team is interesting to me. I don't know a bunch of, like I keep saying, I don't know a bunch about VGC, but I'm starting to think about it a little bit. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is, if nothing else, very interesting. So congratulations to Stefan Mott for winning the Monterey Regionals for VGC. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man. This has been a good episode. Anything to say about these regionals, this VGC, before we kind of wrap it up?
No, I think it was really cool just to have a couple regionals, two in the same weekend, for kind of this big back to the normal season sort of events. We get the Monterey and the Frankfurt regionals right together at the same time. So it's a good way to kick off. I'm interested to see how Pittsburgh's going to be next week.
Yes.
So no predictions on that this time. I think we're simply going to kind
Oh,
of see how
is there a
that
regional next weekend?
there is. It's the Pittsburgh regional.
Oh, I didn't keep track of that. I think we can probably cut in like some quick predictions.
Oh
Let's
yeah. If you
let's
want to
do
throw a couple of those in real quick. Yeah.
let's do 2 for TCG, 2 for VGC.
Oh, okay.
Let's see and we'll see how wrong we are. So for TCG, I want to say number of terabox in Top Cut. I'm gonna say. Actually, I made the rules. I'll let you draft first.
Ooh, okay. Number of terabox in Top Cut. I mean, based on what we just had, and I don't know. I don't think it's going to have a target on its back. I genuinely don't think that there's much you can do to predict Terabox. You just have to learn to play around it.
Especially with that new Iron Leaves inclusion.
Especially with the Iron Leaves. And we don't know if people are going to start like, oh, maybe I do go heavy into Guardy and then get sniped by Frigoraph because someone goes a deep run with the Frigoraph or something like that. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with a maybe slightly conservative answer and say 2. I think 2 is a fair one.
Yeah. Okay. I think I see that for sure. I think this is one of the few times I'm gonna take the under. And okay. I'm going to say that we get a firm 1 terabox in Top Cut. But I'm going to say that it wins it.
Ooh.
Just to be presumptuous. That'll be bonus points if it wins. I think that'll be sick. We can make that like we can make the prize for that like a handicap on the next Boozin' Battle.
All right, fair enough. Yeah.
That would actually be really fun, I wonder. We should see about incorporating that. That's like an off-camera discussion, though.
Yes.
The next prediction. I'm curious. Actually, I'll let you pick the next prediction that we want to do. If you have anything that you can think of off the top. If not, I can figure one out real quick.
Let me see. What would be a good one to do? Okay. My prediction is going to be. I think let's play off of like maybe some of the more interesting stuff that we saw. Out of Frankfurt, and you know what? Actually, I'm feeling a little fun with this one. Highest placing Grimmsnarl deck,
Ooh.
Right? People have been saying Grimmsnarl is dead, but very clearly we saw
a couple deep runs.
2 get a deep run, 2 get top 32 at Frankfurt. So it's clearly not quite as dead, I think, as people maybe thought it was. So right. Yeah, highest placing Grimmsnarl.
Well, if we're going under the assumption that there's going to be more Terabox, which is totally possible, I think that we're going to say. I think I'll put it. I think I'll put it generously in top 32.
Okay.
Gotta go with my gut. I don't think it's going to place better. But there might be more of them in top 32.
Okay.
So I think that's the highest
fair.
We see it is top 32.
I'm gonna be maybe a little more forgiving for it even and say top 16. I do think we might see another one at top 16. I don't necessarily think it's an amazing deck, but I do think that it is still good enough to hold its own.
Oh goodness! It looks like my cat is eating the wires for my Wii sensor bar right now, so it might be time for us to make some quick TCG or VGC predictions and then wrap up the show. I'm going to see if tossing my wallet at my cat can get him to leave my stuff alone. Maybe. So, for VGC, let's make some funny predictions for Pittsburgh. Let's just go out on a limb and see what we can see. I think for the first prediction, I'd like to see number of teams using this Scyther core. I think I want to see like people trying to imitate Stefan Mott. How many do you think we'll see in day 2? People using this core.
See, this is going to be hard for me because I don't even know how many people you generally see in day 2. At these events.
Me neither. So I'm totally. We're both going in blind. This is more for fun than anything. And if we're right, we're right. And if we're wrong, we're wrong.
Let's say 5. Okay.
5 is a good number.
5.
I think I'm gonna be more conservative. I'm gonna say 3.
3. Okay.
3 people using Stefan Scyther core. And then the other VGC prediction is will no, never mind. I was gonna say will Wolfie take it with Perish Trap, but I don't even
No.
I don't want that. I don't want that. Oh man, what else could there be?
Highest placing Perish Trap.
Oh no. Here's one. So number of Hisuian Sneaslers in top 8.
Ooh, in top 8.
It feels like it's popular, but it's not
top
like
8, or do they do like a top cut like TCG?
That's a great question. I'm not exactly sure. We'll have to find out.
I'll put top cut.
Yeah.
Be generous to us and put top cut, so it might allow some more stuff in.
Sure.
Let's say, I don't know how good this thing is. I'm just gonna go with an off the wall number and say like 4.
Okay. I think I'm kind of on the same wavelength with you there. I'll go one more. I think I'll do 5 because I think it's a really strong pick. I don't know how the meta is going to shift in this time, but here's something to think about. A lot of these are going Terra flying and using acrobatics. If people are running that Scyther core, Sneasler's going to have a good time. So we'll have to wait and see what that looks like. I'm really interested. This gives me more reasons to watch VGC as well, which is super exciting. It's like the rush that I imagine folks get out of like fantasy football.
Right.
So this is cool. Well, anything else for predictions before we kind of wrap things up here, Johnny?
No, I think that's it. I'm looking forward to seeing how these turn out.
As am I. This has been a great episode of N21FM, a Pokemon podcast. Thank you, all of you who are watching and listening, for your kindness and support. Thank you to our patrons over at patreon.com/terminalcreative. Make sure you go over there. Early access, bonus content, audience participation. Those are all available to you, as well as a future of more benefits to be certain. I hope you'll join us and look forward to the next episode of N21FM Pokemon Podcast. But until then, thank you all very much for coming out and watching. We'll see you next time. Peace out.